Alright, in this video, I'm going to show you how we can calculate measures of center using our good old calculator. Alright, so what are the three measures of center? Well, the three measures of center that we use in stats are your mean, median, and mode. Okay, so some quick definitions. You guys know what a mean is. A mean is the average of your data values. What do? You add up all your data values, divide by the number of data values that you have. Your median, this is the middle data value. Okay, it's also known as the 50th percentile. So if you watch the video on quartiles and box plots, you know how to find the 50th percentile. And then you have your mode. Your mode is the most frequent data value. Okay, so I don't want to go too deep into this, but your mean is very much susceptible, very much affected by outliers. Okay, remember outliers are extreme values. We talked about that in the previous video. Whereas your median is a little more robust, meaning even if you have outliers, your median is still, I think, giving you a better measure of the center there. Anyways, before we actually get into the calculator, we're going to be seeing this throughout the rest of the semester. I think we should go ahead and introduce some symbols. Okay, so the first symbol I want to talk about is this thing with this X with this bar across the top. Okay, we actually call this X bar. Okay, X bar is the symbol that we will be using this semester to represent a sample mean. So what does a sample mean? A sample mean is an average of a sample data set. Whereas a population mean, the average of a population data set, we're going to use the Greek letter mu. Okay, so it's a U with a long front tail. Is about the best way I can explain that. So the Greek letter mu is going to represent population mean. A lowercase n for us this semester is going to represent a sample size, and a uppercase n is going to represent a population size. So I just want to go ahead and quickly introduce those because we're going to start to see these symbols now be used in some formulas. But here, as I said, man, you guys know how to calculate means and medians by hand. All right, so what I want to focus on now is how can we do this more efficiently in a calculator. Well, this is what you're going to do. Here are the steps. Now I'll show you my calculator in a second. What you do is you're going to hit your stat button on your calculator. So if you need to, pause the video, take a second, see if you can locate it. And you're going to go to your edit menu. And what this is going to bring up is going to bring up some lists. Okay. And then you're going to enter your data set into a list. The list L1 is usually what we work with. To calculate the mean and median, we're going to use this program called OneVarStats. That stands for One Variable Statistics. And when the calculator asks you for your list, okay, it's going to, well, here, let me actually just show you. Okay, so if I go to, let's get rid of that. If I hit my stat button is right below my delete button, right beside your directional pad. If you hit your stat button, you're going to then go edit. So edit, so how you maneuver within the menus. If you hit your up and down arrows, that's how you move within the menu. But I want number 1 because I want to be able to edit a list. Okay. If I hit number 1, there, I have my list. If you're missing an L1, don't freak out. But if you're missing any of your list, what you could do is if you hit stat, and number 5, the setup editor, if you do number 5, that will restore any list that you may have missing, and hit enter, and it should say done. Okay. So once again, let me go back to my list. I hit my stat button. I go to edit, number 1. And this is where you enter in your data values. Okay. Once you have all your data values entered, you're going to hit your stat button again. You now need to go over to the calculate menu. So do that. Hit your right arrow. Now we're in the calculate menu, and the first option is what we're looking for, one variable statistics. Okay. If I click on that, then it's going to ask me for a list and a frequency list. Well, for us, our list is going to be L1 because that's where we're going to put our data values. Your frequency list should always be empty. Okay, so if there's something there, clear it out. And then you're going to hit calculate. Okay, So my calculator is updated. In case your calculator is not updated, whenever you hit the 1var stats, I'm looking at this part right here. If you have an older calculator, when you hit 1var stats, it takes you back to the home screen. What you need to do at that home screen is you need to tell the calculator, hey, I want to do 1var stats for my L1. Well, how do you type in L1? To type L1, let's pull the calculator back up. To type L1, you're going to hit second, blue button here, second 1. Okay, because if you look above the number 1 in blue, you have L1. So your second button is like a shift on a keyboard. It allows you to get to that blue L1 there. Okay, so that's how you type. You need to type an L2, second 2, so on and so forth. All right. So once you do this, your calculator is going to spit out a lot of information. We'll do an example in just a second. And what you need to know is that X bar is the mean of your data set. So if the question asks you, what's the mean? You're going to look for X bar. What if the question asks you for the median? Well, if you keep on scrolling down in your calculator, you're actually going to see MED, which is short for median. Okay, so MED is the median. In fact, you may be a little mad if you watched my video before this, but it turns out that the calculator actually gives you the entire 5-number summary. You don't even have to do it by hand. Okay? And then lastly, the calculator will not calculate the mode for you. Remember, the mode is the most frequent data value. Well, what you're going to do is you're just going to visually inspect your data values, and you're just going to see which data value occurs the most. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but it's possible to have no modes. If none of your data values do not repeat, you're not going to have any modes. It's possible to have just one mode, and it's possible to have multiple modes. All right? Okay, let's get into an example here. For example, we have the following data values which represent final exam scores. If you watched the video before this data set should look mighty familiar. We need to determine the mean, median, and mode of this data set using our calculator. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We need to enter that data set into our calculator. So to do that, we are going to, well, first of all, pull up our calculator. Let me go back home. Let's clear that up. All right. So I'm going to hit my stat button. I'm going to go to my edit. And I need to input my data values into L1, all of those data values. And so I notice I have something already in my L1 list. So this is how you clear out your list. Instead of deleting all of these individual entries, what you could do is if you take your arrow here, move it up to the top. You see how the L1's highlighted? If you hit clear and then enter, it will clear out your entire list. One more time. If I have data values and I want to get rid of all of them, what I do is I go up, I hit clear, and then enter. That clears the entire list. I know what's going to happen. Let me show you this real quick. If you accidentally go up to the top and you hit delete, it actually gets rid of that entire list. So now L1 is completely gone. But don't freak out. As I told you, if there's a missing list, you hit your stat button, go to number 5, setup editor, click enter. And now if I go back to edit, my L1 is back, just like I never left. All right, so what I'm going to do is I have these data values written down. So if you want to, you may want to pause the video and write down these data values, but I have them already written down. I'm going to enter all of these data values into the calculator, all 16 of them, I believe. So here we go. 6, 8. 2, 80, 85, 85. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have 88 to 89s. And make sure you put these in very carefully. All it takes is one to mess you up. Oh, we got a 90, 92, 93. 95 and 299s. Okay. All right. How do you know that you have the correct number of data values in? So I told you there's 16 total data values there. If you look at the bottom here, hopefully you can see my mouse, my pointer here, where it says L1 in parentheses it has 16. Excuse me. That means that entry right there, that last entry is the 16th entry. So that means we have 16 data values. So I'm pretty confident we got those in there correctly. Okay, let's calculate some statistics. We hit our stat button. We go over to calc. And number one var stats is already selected. We're going to hit enter. We want to perform one var stats on L1. So it's already in there. Once again, if you don't have L1 there, you're going to click second one. Okay, your frequency list. If there's like an L2 or something in your frequency list, make sure you clear that out. Should be nothing in your frequency list. And you're going to go down to calculate. And there we go. Okay, a lot of information pops up here, but the first one that we care about is this X bar. That is our sample mean. That's our mean right there. 83.875 is our mean. Okay, so the mean is 0.875. Okay. The median. What's the median? So you see this down arrow here next to n equals 16. Okay. That n equals 16 means, or the down arrow means if you hit the down arrow on your calculator, there's actually more information below. Keep on hitting down. As I told you guys, don't get mad at me, but do you see the minimum, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the max? That is your 5-number summary. The MED, the median, same thing as the second quartile, Q2, is 88.5, just like we discovered in the previous video. Okay. And lastly, we need to calculate the mode. Well, once again, the mode is your most frequent data value. So first of all, let's locate, do we have any repeating data values? Yeah, we have 89 that repeats twice, and we have 99 that repeats twice. So because both of those are the most frequent data values, in this case, we actually have two modes. We have a mode of 89, and we also have a mode of 99, because both of those occur twice. Okay. Here we go. One more example. Let's practice constructing a 5-number summary using the calculator. Okay. So give me 1 second here. I just want to drop down these numbers. 6, 7, 9, 1, 6, 2, 8, 1. All right. So here we go. Let's go to our calculator. Let's input these data values. So once again, we're going to hit stat. Going to hit stat. We're going to go to edit. And now we need to clear out this list. And we are going to input our data values. So I'm trying to remember here. Let's see. So it starts at 85. Okay. So we have 85, 94, 78, 81, 67, 91, I believe again. Let's see here. What else? 82. 95, 62, and 81. Just want to double check. Do we have 10 total data values? 10 looks good. Looks good. All right. Here we go. Stat. calc. One of our statistics, we want the 5-number summary. So we're gonna, sorry, your list is L1, frequency list empty, calculate. We want the 5-number summary, so we're gonna have to scroll down. And there she blows. Our 5-number summary is the minimum data value is 62. The first quartile was 78. The median was 81.5. The third quartile was 91. And our maximum data value is 95. Okay. As we did with the previous video, we're going to make our box plot here. So I'm going to go once again in increments of 10, starting at 60. So 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Let's do, I don't know, green. Okay. So Q1, remember the box is formed by your quartile. So Q1 is 78. So we're here. The median is 81.5. The third quartile is 91. And so there is our box. And then our whiskers extend out to the min and max. So the max is 95, which will be here. And the minimum was 62, which will be somewhere here. Get on in there. All right. So there you go, folks. That's how you quickly and efficiently find your mean and your 5-number summary using the calculator. Catch you in the next video.